Doesn't mean that Hillary would have been a good choice either. She was a terrible choice. She's a corrupt politician, one of the most unlikable people that's ever run for office. They were trying to get people to be supporting her just because she's a woman. This is going to be her history. Women, ladies, I stand with her. So there's all these women that have this blind allegiance towards this career politician, completely full of shit. She's been full of shit forever.
Hillary says Democrats' trap is pushing woke crap. So the Dems have become so dense that even she's making sense. In a new interview, Hillary Clinton, the first lady of second place, was that terrible?
When Hillary Clinton's name surfaced in the headlines again, Joe Rogan and Greg Gutfeld didn't flinch. They came armed with wits sharper than a Senate grilling and sarcasm hotter than a wiped server. They shredded every public appearance and failed political revival like it was amateur hour for political flops. From foundation drama to fashion diplomacy, nothing was off limits. This wasn't just comedy. It was a full-scale takedown of the Clinton legacy, unapologetically brutal from start to finish.
Infuriated when people that I knew that I was friends with were trying to tell me that Hillary Clinton was a good choice. And that's the same choice. I'm like, look, I don't know if she's murdered people, but I know that I worry that she's murdered people. That's a real... I really wonder. Like, this Seth Rich...
I know. First of all, just leave. You don't even need to go there. You know,
there's so many other things.
There's so many other things that we know for a fact.
The Clinton Foundation, for instance.
You look at Hillary. She uses the phrase, what was it? I wrote it down here. Handmaiden to the patriarchy, which I think she means she's bashing Monica Lewinsky. I'm not sure. But this only is appealing to an ever-shrinking circle of feminist women, the same who bow to the altar of trans men and keep silent when real women are victimized by really bad men. But again, it's another assigned opinion that's lazily presented, men against women.
Every time Hillary fades from view, she reemerges like a ghost of politics past, haunting a country already exhausted by deja vu. She's rebranded more times than a fast food chain, hoping new packaging will fix bad fries. Rogan and Gutfeld didn't even have to warm up for this roast. A glance at her political timeline served up a buffet of contradictions so rich, they nearly choked on the irony.
Will her new foreign policy class change minds that she's a horse's ass? This week, Columbia University shared a video promoting a new course that's co-taught by Hillary Clinton. Believe me, no one's more thrilled to have Hillary out of the house than Bill. Speaking of Bill, if you're a lady who is a solid 8 or above, he'll tutor you for free.
Before we go further, if you're enjoying the video, don't forget to subscribe and tap the bell icon. Now, back to Hillary's gold medal level ability to dodge accountability. If evasion were an Olympic event, she'd have more gold than Michael Phelps. From Benghazi blunders to the email scandal, she hasn't just sidestepped responsibility. She's locked in a basement, gagged with a copy of what happened. While most Americans were learning how to open a PDF, Hillary was out smashing BlackBerries like she was auditioning for Office Space 2. Classified edition.
I don't think the Clintons were involved with P. Diddy, do you?
No, but Epstein.
Was Epstein involved with P. Diddy?
No, I just feel like these pedophile rings have to cross points at some point.
Like, I was infuriated when people that I knew that I was friends with were trying to tell me that Hillary Clinton was a good choice. And that's the same choice. I'm like, look, I don't know if she's murdered people, but I know that I worry that she's murdered people. That's a real... I really wonder. Like, this Seth Rich...
I know. First of all, just leave. You don't even need to go there. You know,
there's so many other things.
There's so many other things that we know for a fact.
The Clinton Foundation, for instance.
And who could forget the legendary private email server? That wasn't a minor mistake. It was a full-blown Broadway spectacle of bad judgment. While most people settle for Gmail, Hillary built a DIY server setup like she was crafting bespoke scandals in a Brooklyn loft. Rogan didn't even need to stretch the truth. All he had to do was note that she handled state secrets like a teenager sneaking texts past bedtime.
She wasn't elected. Now Hillary's class gets rejected. True, even students on the left give Professor Clinton an F. Students in Hillary Clinton's new class says it sucks. Even more than an intern who... you know where this is going. But it's the smartest realization on campus since someone realized you could put vodka up your butt. Thanks, Shannon.
Greg Gutfeld came in swinging like a sarcastic wrecking ball, openly questioning how someone could reach the pinnacle of government while still acting like a teenager frantically clearing their browser history before mom walks in. The sheer gall of deleting 30,000 emails and brushing it off like she just reset her Netflix recommendations? That's not just shameless, it's museum-worthy. There should be an entire wing dedicated to it. The art of political audacity.
Dems seem to be going out of their way to lose elections by focusing on causes that only affect a small fraction of voters. Funny, asking Hillary how to win elections is like asking France how to win wars. But she seemed to admit the interview was right chasing woke issues, noting, quote, "Look, the most important thing is to win the next election. The alternative is so frightening that whatever does not help you win should not be a..."
Hillary's greatest trick wasn't making emails vanish. It was making political integrity disappear altogether. Her campaign trail was a highlight reel of photo ops, forced grins, and a desperate, almost clinical obsession with being liked by people who barely tolerated her. Greg joked she didn't so much run for president as wander around in a pantsuit doing awkward robot waves until someone informed her voting had started. And that pantsuit empire? Hillary dressed like she was forever en route to negotiate peace between warring alien species. Joe Rogan quipped her wardrobe had more layers than her foreign policy disasters. Let's not forget, this is the same woman who stood by while Bill turned the White House into a taxpayer-funded frat house. Instead of distancing herself from scandal, she leaned in like a contestant on America's Next Top Enabler.
Watch the conversation between James Comey.
110 emails in 52 email chains have been determined by the owning agency to contain classified information.
When James Comey testified about what he did and what they found with the Hillary Clinton emails, and then her version of it.
I did not email any classified material to anyone. There is no classified material.
She's just a straight liar. She deleted 33,000 emails.
I provided all my emails that could possibly be work-related.
Several thousand work-related emails that were not among the group of 30,000 emails returned by Secretary Clinton.
When they rigged the DNC, they rigged the primaries so that Bernie Sanders...
Gutfeld could barely contain the mock applause as he pointed out that Hillary's feminism only made an appearance when it was politically profitable. The rest of the time, it was stored in the same vault as those missing emails. Then came 2016, the year Hillary Clinton, armed with every institutional advantage, lost to a billionaire with a Twitter addiction. It wasn't just a loss, it was cosmic satire. Rogan compared it to someone training for a marathon, only to get outrun by a guy in flip-flops shouting into a megaphone. She had the DNC, Hollywood, Wall Street, and most of the media in her corner, and still got steamrolled by the electoral version of a clown car. Her campaign felt less like a movement and more like a somber TED Talk with slogans that sounded like rejected slogans for dental insurance. She showed up to rallies with the enthusiasm of a DMV clerk, high-fiving ghosts and delivering lines like she was allergic to emotion.
All right, she lost an election, and now she's projecting. Hillary Clinton went on The View this week, which immediately raises a serious question. What's the weight capacity for that stage? But you'll never guess what she talked about. Her love of gardening, the things she does to stay healthy, how much she adores catching and cooking stray kittens. Nah, it was Donald Trump as a...
And then there was the Clinton Foundation. Joe Rogan asked the obvious question, how do you run a charity and somehow come out wealthier? It was billed as a global force for good, but the only thing that truly soared was the frequency of private jet landings in countries that just so happened to need U.S. favors. Greg joked that if you donated to the Clinton Foundation, you probably helped fund another fog machine for the illusion of goodwill. As for her media attempts, Hillary's efforts to be relatable were like watching a robot try stand-up comedy. Her infamous hot sauce in my bag moment was so forced it made your uncle dabbing at Thanksgiving seem natural. Greg roasted her monotone delivery as the only known cure for insomnia that doesn't require FDA approval. She could talk about nuclear annihilation and make it sound like a lecture on Excel shortcuts. Every time she tried to show emotion, It felt like a malfunctioning GPS desperately trying to reroute through the valley of artificial empathy.
Hillary Clintons are the people that are like maybe disrespectful to the servers, and you find out about it, they sent food back.
The Democrat wall of support for Hillary Clinton's use of a private, unsecure server for official government emails and attachments. Yeah, I remember all of that.
It's not the main guy, it's the support staff.
Her party rallied to her defense. And to this day, it maintains she did nothing wrong.
Let's not forget Hillary's foreign policy resume, or as Joe Rogan put it, a highlight reel of geopolitical flops. Her infamous reset button with Russia was so ineffective it might as well have said snooze. Every initiative she led felt like the sequel to a failed franchise. Big build-up, zero payoff, and explosions in all the wrong places. Greg quipped that if chaos were a currency, Hillary would be the Federal Reserve. And then there's her relationship with the media, an alliance so tangled it makes Game of Thrones look like a kindergarten skit. Even her softball interviews made T-ball look competitive. The toughest question she faced was probably, "What's your favorite flavor privilege?" And somehow, she still managed to sound insincere. Her post-election blame tour made Taylor Swift's X-List look like a grocery receipt. Gutfeld swears she blamed everything and everyone, voters, the media, the Electoral College, except her own reflection. The only scapegoat she missed was Mercury in retrograde.
Well, Hillary did the same thing.
Well, she's a congenital liar, as she was referred to by the New York Times back in the day.
But, and rightly so, but people forget this. She did talk about a firefight that she was involved in.
I was under sniper fire, and the worst thing about that people didn't give a shit about, she said when she was in Bosnia, she was under sniper fire. It's like, wait a minute, you're throwing the Secret Service under the bus. Because what kind of Secret Service is going to let the First Lady run?
When she wasn't mourning the 2016 loss, she was rebranding. A podcast, a Netflix special, one book, then another, then a miniseries. It was like watching a rejected pilot season on loop. Joe Rogan joked that she was chasing Kardashian-level screen time without realizing the audience had already dozed off. Greg added that if her recycled memoirs earned political redemption, Hillary would have been canonized by now. But don't think for a second she's done. Like a sequel nobody asked for, her name keeps popping up the moment someone says, "Who else do we have?" And then there's her obsession with identity politics. Hillary doesn't build coalitions. She plays hopscotch across asphalt lines. Her campaign strategy wasn't unity. It was sorting voters into micro boxes of race, gender, and class, then claiming to speak for all of them. Joe called her the living embodiment of a diversity bingo card.
Miserable.
She was publicly humiliated, and she thought that her big retribution would become president.
I'm running for president, and I'm in it to win it.
You know, become president.
Sure.
And then that would be it. All water under the bridge. I'm a strong woman. I'm running this country. And then America was like, nah.
And I'm sorry that we did not win this election for the values we share and the...
Greg described her as the political version of spam mail. No one subscribed, but it keeps landing in your inbox. Even her jokes feel like a software glitch. Every punchline lands with the grace of a dropped anvil. Hillary tried to be funny as like a Roomba attempting stand-up, awkward, unsettling, and vaguely robotic. Joe said her best joke would probably end with an FBI investigation. Greg added her comedic timing could be used to date fossils. Yet despite it all, Hillary still carries herself like the presidency is on layaway, and the country just missed its final payment. Rogan called it the most entitled aura since Napoleon tried to march on Moscow in winter. Watching her campaign, he said, was like watching someone flip a Monopoly board and still insist they won. Greg compared her to a contestant on America's most exhausting politician, convinced the White House was the grand prize. Even now, she's out giving speeches on democracy and integrity, as if the nation asked her to be its moral compass. Joe compared it to being lectured on sobriety by a guy doing shots in the parking lot. She's got more gall than a dental school and could probably sell ice to Eskimos, but only if she charged a processing fee and blamed Russia when it melted. And just when you think it's over, boom, another tweet, another documentary, another unsolicited take. She's the Wi-Fi signal of politics, always showing up where it's not needed and never working when it is. Rogan swears she runs on resentment and decoff.
This is Hillary Clinton in like 2008 saying some wild type
If they've committed a them. No questions asked. They're gone.
She's a Republican.
If they've been working and are law-abiding, we should say, here are the conditions for you staying. You have to pay a stiff fine because you came here illegally. You have to pay back taxes. And you have to try to learn English.
More than Trump.
And then
it's
you
all
couldn't believe
illusion.
Greg's convinced she's got a bat signal that lights up every time someone forgets she lost. Hillary continues to orbit the political universe like a malfunctioning satellite, blinking, glitching, and refusing to deorbit. This isn't just a roast anymore. It's a full-course meal of irony served with a side of stale ambition and reheated delusion. Every reappearance is political deja vu, not evolution, just a looping NPC in a broken simulation. She's not running for office. She's speedrunning denial. Rogan nailed it. If Hillary were a software update, it'd be the same buggy program with shinier icons and even more pop-ups. And just when the noise dies down and you think it's finally over, you hear it. The familiar Clinton cough echoing through the airwaves, a glitch in the matrix, a signal she's rebooting once again.